You got some problems that you wanna solve? Then let's chat. That job getting on your nerves? Then let's chat. Girl, you know I can relate, so let's chat. Cause I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom.
It's your girl Cece. I'm your hostess with the mostest.
line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
Welcome to another episode of The Bottom Line Is. I'm your girl Cece. Today I have my friend Alicia here. Have you all ever been pressured like by your family or your friends and they just keep asking you, well, when are you having kids? And when are you going to start a family? Or when are you going to get married? You know, the 21 question game every time go to like family events and all that kind of stuff. I feel like after 30 it gets real annoying because I'm 37 and I don't like being asked that question. I feel like I want to wear a t-shirt that says, don't ask because I won't
don't
tell.
Ask, don't tell. Right.
I'm not with it. Yeah, at my age of 37, every time I go to the doctor's office, they always say, well, when are you going to get an ablation? Because just being transparent, I have heavy periods and things like that. And they've been asking me that for the last few years. And they're like, do you want to have kids? And I'm just like, I really don't know. And if you're following my journey, know that I'm also a caregiver full time and I work full time. And I'm just like, so when I'm going to fit a baby in there? I don't know. But if y'all think I'm busy, she more busier than me.
Am I?
Yeah, I think so. So what's your response when people ask you, when are you having kids?
I think people are giving up. They're like, okay, all right, because I'm about to be 43. Mm-hmm. But in the last 2 years is when I've taken it seriously. Mm-hmm. I've always been career oriented, and I still am. So I put back burner because one, my babies can't eat love. Okay, I don't care how many times your family asks. Say that most times I want to babysit. Most of my family is older too. Don't want to babysit. Don't have time. Don't have the energy, and definitely ain't helping with the finance.
Yeah, I know that's right.
So it has to be an individual decision. And for me, not having been married, not having a boyfriend, it's at this point, it's, you know, single mother by choice. So I've just gotten to the point at 43 where I feel, well, it's been 2 years, but now especially at the point where I'm ready to do that and I feel comfortable enough to have that journey on my own, and whomever comes, whoever doesn't. I mean, the ship still sails on the pier. You know what I mean?
I know my mom was like, well, why don't you just go get a sperm donor? I'm like, she said that's like it's so easy, and I'm just like, girl, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm like, are you going to babysit? But you have started that journey at the fertility clinic. So tell us a little bit about that.
First of all, to be honest, I had no idea what was involved. Like I said, it's been 2 years now since I really started getting serious. And what I mean by getting serious is taking it out of my mind and really making a phone call to ask questions. I had no idea how much was involved. Now, I have had friends that have gone through it, but each person's journey was different. Some people had a husband, some people didn't. Some people had to take shots to get pregnant or try to get pregnant. Some people succeeded, some didn't. And, you know, everybody's journey has just been different. So for me, once I started to take it seriously, they were pretty quick at the fertility clinic. Like, okay, here's the order for your blood work. Okay, here's the next step. Okay, let's make sure you got insurance. Let's make sure Okay. They were moving pretty quickly to where I kind of slowed it down. Like, hold up, I got a few more trips.
You was like, wait a minute, pause.
Yes, wait a minute, Rome was not building a day. I got a few more trips. I got a few more things. And I noticed that I started to push it back and take trips and this and that and the other. I said, oh, this is fear. This is fear setting in. And part of the fear was, my dad is my best friend. I'm his only child. He's raised me, you know, from a young age. And so part of my fear was like, my baby's not going to have a dad. I don't know what that's like. I have both parents, but my father is really active. Like, I can't imagine. So that was something that was crippling for me initially, you know, but I got out of that because I have a friend of a friend who is on this journey alone by choice. She was married. Long story short, her and her husband didn't work out. I think she was 38, 39. And her mother, I think, was terminal at the time. And she said, you know, I'm responsible for my own happiness, my own life. I want this. I want to be a mom. She decided to go at it on her own. And when she came to talk to me, she just said so many things that make sense. She's probably a type A personality, kind of like I am, which I love. She's real clear, real direct. She don't shade shit. And it helps you to make a better judgment for yourself. So she was saying, like, look, I'm an engineer. I'm a black engineer. I make more than most white men, even. That's what she said. And she said, what ends up happening as a woman now, we got to think about it. Now men will also use us for child support and for the come up. So she said, at this point, one, I don't know if I'm getting married again. I don't want to wait. And then again, her mom was terminal, so she wanted to make sure.
That's a lot.
You know, and unfortunately, her mom died, I think, like a month or two before the baby was born. But I'm sure that that's what kept her going also. Yeah. So we're responsible for our own happiness. And if that is something that you believe makes you happy, why not?
Yeah, and you touched on insurance. So for you, you know, you mentioned about like the fear of the child not having the dad, you know, a two-parent household. Well, for me, it's the pain and the money. Like, I'm like, oh my God. All I keep seeing on TV is people trying to give themselves shot, you know, like, because I wanted to freeze my egg because I want to wait until I get a partner and everything, because I feel like at this age, you always meet everybody that has kids, and then you got to worry about, will the kids match well with the significant other? And then it's like, it adds a whole nother layer. So I'm just like, I'm afraid of shots. And I think I called one time and it was like, I forgot what the price was for just a consultation. It was insane.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. I don't think I mean, I have good insurance, but I'm an entrepreneur. So I pay like $700 a month. Plus I have like a $600 deductible, which to me isn't crazy. It's worth it because the cash price of getting it done, that's why why you were sticker shot, is way more than what I would even pay a year for insurance and any kind of healthcare I needed. So to me, it's worth it. And people find money for what they want.
Yeah. And so that's what I was hinting towards, like the insurance. Like, so you think it's worth it if you're going to go through this process to like get insurance?
Definitely. I mean, unless you got it like that, if you got it like that, fine. And even if you do, there could be costs that, you know, you just never know how long the journey is going to be. I was at LabCorp maybe right when I started the blood work thing, so like 2 years ago, and I saw this lady. She was so frustrated. She had been going, her and her husband, for like 5 years.
Ooh,
so you don't know. Yeah, she tried, didn't get pregnant. So you don't know what your process is going to be like. You can think. I don't know either. I'm just now really getting to the throes of it. It was 5 years, and she still wasn't pregnant.
Wow.
So yeah, get insurance. Get a good one.
Yeah, because we do HR too, right? A lot of companies don't offer that though.
No, pick a company based off of that.
Yeah.
I think Amazon does. I think a few others do. So pick a company based off of that. If you're working for someone else,
Yeah. So any HR professionals watching this, if you were at Sperm 2023, they actually had a stand. I forgot the name of the company, but they offer like fertility insurance and things like that, where you can offer that as a benefits package. Maybe that's a new fringe benefit that might be coming on the horizon.
It is. And for me, I talk to my client because, you know, my other business is a mental health company, and mainly women work on that in that field. So the health insurance that we're going to have, which I'm also going to be on, will be women centered, because that's what's mainly in the industry. Younger women, women who are childbearing ages. You know, so any employer that's out there, think about who you're actually serving in terms of your staff, and try to get an insurance that really is for their benefit.
Oh, that's definitely true. So starting to embark in this journey, what have you done so far? Walk us through the timeline.
Sure. So 2 years ago, I would say April, coming this April will be 2 years since I started with the blood work. The end of that year, I think it's called an HSG. It's something. It's 2 procedures, basically. They're very quick, painful, but very quick, like 10-second type of quick. But basically what they want to do is make sure I didn't have any kind of blockages in my fallopian tubes, and that my uterus didn't have any like abscesses or anything like that. Because then that's when they know also what treatment to give you, whether it's IUI or IVF, and how they need to treat you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
So because luckily I didn't have blockages or anything wrong with my uterus, and my numbers were fine, they're like, okay, well, all we got to do is pretty much put it in. Because, you know, when you're 20, 30 and you're not married and you're not sure what you're doing, you spend your time trying not to get pregnant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now when it's time, it's almost counterintuitive. Like, wait a minute. So now I'm trying to, like I'm supposed to. It's weird. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get in trouble. It feels weird. It feels like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get in trouble. Now my parents know. My dad was at my house today and knows. He's been knowing. Because like I said, it's been 2 years since I started. And let me tell you the trauma that this has exposed, because you don't realize, even from my own parents, how much trauma is attached to becoming a parent, whether you're with someone or not, because it's not just a child. You're dealing with personality, and now you're stuck with that person forever, and they have you almost in a noose because they can try to control you or misuse that privilege of being the other parent.
Right.
When I started to tell people, like, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm planning, I got everything from across the board of, you know, people who really know how important this is to me. Oh, I can't wait, congratulations, how can we help you? To, oh, well, you better watch out if you have a child by, or you better watch out for this, watch out for that. Listen, let me tell you, if it's something you want to do, you do it for yourself, because you're responsible for your own happiness. But I started to take it, I didn't take it as personally, because most times when people communicate with you, it's more so about them than it is about you. So I took what they said and just reflected it back. Like, okay, so this person had a hard time with her baby's dad, with her 3 babies' dad, and ended up doing it on her own. So that's why she's saying that, because she knows what it's like tooling day in and day out with 3 children. I plan on having one and done, but it's all in God's plan. So you don't know what that's looking like. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand, when people come to you with their opinion, most times it's not about you. It's about what they've experienced, and they don't want you to have to go through that trauma that they experienced. But it's so much trauma associated with becoming a parent. Even with friends who are married, when I talked to them, they had a husband that wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. You know, just different things. And even when I branch out to let them know, no, my baby and I are going to travel the world, honey. So when it's time to learn about sea turtles, we're going to be off the coast of somewhere, Brazil, somewhere. I don't know where they got sea turtles, but we're going to find it out. And we want to learn firsthand what sea turtles are about.
And she means that,
Oh, I
like,
absolutely mean
I remember seeing somebody on Instagram, they was talking about they travel with their family, like they're not in traditional school. I mean, that is the best way really to learn.
Yeah, and I think what we're learning with the internet is, yes, it's great to be smart. It's great to know how to count money. It's great to have the basics. But other than that, it's social skills, honey. It is going to be a lot of who you know and how you're able to relate to people. You can't learn those social skills. You got to be in different settings to learn social skills, in my opinion. And I plan on having my child be a global citizen like I am. So let's learn some different languages too. Well-cultured. Hey, if they want to be an artist, they want to be a rapper, it doesn't make me any difference as long as they're happy. One of my friends, good friends, she said to me, oh, why would you want to do that? Children need stability. Well, I am the stability. And you've been telling me for years how miserable you are staying stuck where you are because your children still have however many years of school. Why the hell would you want that for me? So when I said that, she couldn't answer. Because society said, like Simon said, society says. Fuck society, because most people ain't happy no way. Do what you want to do.
No, that's true. You get real talk on the bottom line. It's okay. Like, give it to you straight, okay?
Yeah, and everybody's trying day in and day out to find out what their happiness looks like. And what makes you happy today doesn't necessarily make you happy tomorrow. So you determine that. Don't let anybody else determine that for you. And for me, this journey is about determining that. So if you decide to be a single mom by choice, decide to do it with a partner or partners, plural, because you know we're doing the plural thing now. You know what I mean? Y'all could be one big huxtable family. Whatever you want to do, doesn't matter. It's your life. It's your choice. It's your journey.
So we were talking to the other day about the genetic testing. And I feel like, you know, outside of the fertility world, I feel like genetic testing really should be offered, you know, to more people so you know ahead of time of like, I get it, it's God's plan, but I feel like if I'm a carrier or something, I kind of want to know that so I can do any necessary steps to prevent that. But I mean, how did that go for you, the genetic testing?
Well, first of all, just to backtrack, most people aren't playing. Most children aren't playing. My mother planned me, my father didn't. Most children are oops babies. So you ain't checking genetics. Most are, okay? So you're not checking genetics if you're oopsing and eyeing. So for those of us who are planning, it's required. Because you got to know what you're dealing with, because you're going to be matched with the donor. Yeah. You have to make sure there's no issues there. I found out through genetic testing because my dad is blind in one eye. Why he's blind in one eye? I'm a carrier of Usher syndrome 1F, which you can have blindness or deafness in a child. And he became blind in one eye at age 6, and they had to take his eye. And luckily, you know, he was able to keep the other one, but he had no idea because he's a lot older and have those things back then. So I was able to tell him with that new information, you know, something years later, why he was blind in one eye.
I'm glad that didn't come down to you.
You never know, but I don't want that to be, you know, my child's fortune. And of course, you check for these things. Nothing is 100%. You check, but no matter what, right?
We were talking too about some of the check boxes that you were looking for. So, like, let the people know, like, what options. I'm telling y'all, okay, before she got to go into this, I was like, well, let me help out and, you know, see, let's go through these donor catalogs. So I was like, well, let me just take a peek and see maybe what I may want, whatever. I felt like I was on Amazon, okay?
That's what it's like.
Amazon for men.
Yeah, it was a new experience for me, but it's definitely just like a Google search, basically.
It was.
So do you want someone with brown hair, green eyes, 6'2", 200 pounds, whatever? You basically are ordering it up. But for me, I just stuck with the basics. I wanted someone who did not have the genetic ailments that I have. Someone that's at least 5'10". And let's be honest, people who are taller generally are favored more in society. It is, again, society says people who are attractive generally are favored more. But I knew also I wanted a brown baby. So I did not partner or find a donor that is Caucasian or Chinese because I didn't feel like I could really relate to those two ethnicities. Now, there were some people that identified as Caucasian that still had Venezuelan and different things where on the outside they did appear more diverse, we'll call it that. I was like, okay, I was intrigued by that. So the two that I did find, they look more like Aladdin.
Yes, they do. Actually, I was trying to think, like, what do they remind? Yes.
Yeah, listen, well, I hope their sperm is on a magic carpet because we're trying to pop these babies out. So,
but no, well, we're gonna hope that they come out on the magic carpet ride, okay, and bring you a whole new world, okay? Like a whole new world. And I just forgot to say, we are not medical professionals, okay? We just two homegirls telling you what the bottom line is and the real deal, okay? You know, it made me think about the celebrities, Brat and Judy. And I don't know if you watched their show.
Somewhat. I'm not really familiar too in depth with their story, but I know the baby came through.
Yeah, so they did, you know, a similar process to you. They took Judy's egg and then, you know, and planted it with the donor inside of the Brat. And they got a lot of flack because they chose a Caucasian sperm donor. And I'm like, it's not about color. You know what I mean? For them, it was about, like you were saying, the genetic testing and things that they, you know, she had a lot of things that, you know, that came up on her genetic testing. So that took out a lot of people. It's like for every little thing, that search gets more narrow. Yep. So I was just like, I mean, it's their journey. I didn't understand why people kept giving them so much flack over that. I'm like, are you going to babysit babysit the baby or what?
Listen, the search for a sperm donor is harder than the search for a husband, okay? Because it really is like you're searching, but you don't, first of all, you don't know what you don't know. So unless you've been in this process before or even did a simple search like you did with me the other day, you don't even know. Most of the times there aren't any African Americans, very few if any. And then once you put in the genetics, a lot of times because we have the same genetic background, we suffer from the same ailment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sickle cell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
high
then
blood
we can't
pressure,
even,
all of that.
but especially the ones that have a genetic foundation. Mm-hmm. So we can't even partner anyway if we wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't think about that.
And that's what happens. You know, and first of all, we're far and few between. Then we have similar genetic issues. Then also a lot of people have CMV. I forgot what it stands for, but it's some type of virus that's very kind of like herpes virus that a lot of people have. The issue is if you're someone like me who does not have it, that's not a problem, but it becomes an issue when you're searching for a donor because most people have it. So that literally from if you got 50 possibilities, you're gonna be down to about 11 at that point.
Wow.
So if somebody's coming to me saying if Caucasian was my only option, then I would have had to have done it if I really wanted that. And on some of these sites that you search, that is the only demographic there. So
it's definitely a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, but it's a personal choice.
But we're excited to hear about your journey. She will never be a stranger. We will definitely have her back on. So your goal is to get this baby started when?
We're about 3 weeks out. So it's a few more things that I want to do. I need to do this month, like three more weeks left to make sure I'm still good to go. And if my doctors give me approval, then I'll be good to go. If they say wait, I'll wait. If they say it's not safe, then they want to put me through all this. We've been doing this stuff for 2 years. Right. If they didn't believe it was the case. Now there are some things I need to do to make sure I'm in the best health. I need to be walking more, drinking more water. I have started my prenatal vitamins. I have started to lower stress and anybody who's getting on my nerves.
Cut it
all
out.
Of that. Yeah, because I know
you got to. I mean, everybody got time for that. Everybody got time for that.
Right. Okay. So I'm just making the necessary changes for the necessary change. Yeah.
I understand that. So we're going to follow Alicia's journey. Now my journey, that's a TBD. I'm gonna get it together though. I'm gonna get it together because I gotta do something. I can't keep living.
Yeah, like I would say it's important to be able to make a choice. If you haven't gone on at least gotten blood work from your doctor to know where you stand, to be able to make a decision. Don't just keep leaving it up in the air. I wish I had done it sooner. Even though I'm glad I'm waiting now, I wish I had done this. Luckily, the testing came out all right with me. But what if it didn't? I would have had that regret. So please, at least get the testing. It's really routine in a way. It's easy. Most of it's just blood work. That way you know where you stand. You can make a decision that works for you.
No, for sure. And then I know one of the episodes too of Debrat and Judy, I know I keep going back to them, was they were, they had some eggs left and they were like, well, if we don't use them, what do we do with them? I didn't realize you could donate eggs. I was like, the world is just becoming like something. I was like, what? Options.
So for me, I won't have that option because they're not pulling any eggs out. They're literally just putting the sperm in. Yeah. But if you're someone who, went through that process and you have them, you want to donate, more power to you.
Yeah, because for me, I'm looking to freeze my eggs if possible.
Freeze as many as you can because you don't know how many chances you might need.
Right. I know, and it's like, it's crazy because they say with the eggs, and once you combine it with the sperm, then you can pick if you want to have a boy or a girl. I'm just like, whoa, wait for the gender reveal. Our grandparents, if we told them where things are now, they would be like, what?
Girl, I don't know. I'm like, God do what God do. Because once they put this, it's going to be what it's going to be. Yeah. And luckily my insurance pays for 10 tries. That's a lot of tries.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm hoping, but I still have to pay for the sperm. So the sperm is about $2,000 per vial. I'm going to get 2 vials first, and then shipping everything else like $5,000. I have to give them probably like next week or something. And the reason why I'm getting 2 is because even though the first one may work, what if I want to have another child with the same siblings? You don't know if the donor's going to give again. So you get the 2 to have it ready just in case. What if I get pregnant with twins with the first one? After that, we're going to let them buy back their sperm because, that'll be, a 2-for-1 special, and that'll be all she wrote. So, yeah. You just don't know. So give yourself those options. And even once you pick the sperm, like tomorrow, I actually get to talk about with the genetic counselor. I have 2 donors I'm considering which one to choose and why, and which one may be best for me. So, and then the sperm also comes in different varieties, meaning depending on your procedure, you have to pick certain sperm. So your doctor will tell you all that. You know what I mean? Depending on your situation. But again, a lot of different variables that I did not know. So if you're considering this, go ahead and join some Facebook groups, honey, because it's going to get a lot of things cleared up. Still talk to your doctor, but it definitely clarified a lot of nuances about this process.
Wow.
So.
No, that's cool. I mean, I've been learning a lot from her. I always learn a lot from her. So make sure you, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, for Alicia or myself, put those in the chat, and then I can talk about those during week 4 of this series. But other than that, the bottom line here is, if it's something you want, go for it. Time is ticking. Peace.